Meerkat, a living fortress in the scorching Kalahari. Kalahari, an immense land stretching to the horizon, where the red sands blaze under the sun and the wind dries every blade of grass. Yet amid this harshness, life still bursts forth, resilient and astonishingly radiant. Amid that fiery sea of sand, a small army stands upright, eyes fixed on the distance like unyielding sentinels. This is the world of the meerkat, tiny warriors defying the desert. Their small heads with black-rimmed eyes, like war paint, allow them to gaze straight at the sun without being blinded. In this harsh land, those eyes are weapons of survival, always wide open to guard life. With their slender, supple bodies and claws curved like blades, they dig deep into the earth, carving out safe labyrinths of burrows. Beneath the scorching desert, these very tunnels are the strongholds that protect the entire community. They often stand on their hind legs, bodies upright, scanning in all directions like sentries in the middle of the desert. But suddenly, the silence shatters. Two individuals hurl themselves at each other, claws slashing, hisses cutting through the air. A fleeting battle erupts, then fades, leaving only a haze of swirling dust. When they move across the arid savanna, each tail instantly points straight up to the sky. It is the moment they must stay closest together, turning their tails into living markers that keep the group from losing one another in the sea of Kalahari grass. Suddenly, a slithering figure approaches, the king cobra, a deadly nemesis to all creatures. The whole group does not flee. They gather together, standing tall, fur bristling, a harsh growl echoing. The battle begins. The snake strikes, but each counterbite, each distraction makes death itself falter. The intruder is forced to retreat, vanishing into the sand. In the whirlwind of chaos, a truth becomes clear. Power is not measured by fangs and claws, but by unity. When hearts stand together, that strength surpasses even the instinct to survive. Dawn spreads across the burning sands as one individual climbs higher, standing tall, eyes sweeping the horizon. That is the sentinel, the one who carries its life on the line so the whole group behind can remain safe in their daily rhythm of survival. Food is a harsh test. From tiny insects to lizards darting in and out of sight, to the dry roots of withered plants, every meal is a battle. Here, there is no room for the slow or the careless. But the desert never ceases to test them. If it is not one enemy, it will be another. And this time, the shadow belongs to a jackal. The jackal charges, swift as a whirlwind. But it all ends in bitterness. A predator brought down by the strength and cunning of the small meerkat clan. The meerkats witness it all, and they understand. Every day is a battlefield where every creature can be both hunter and prey. When the danger subsides, the small clan gathers once more. They huddle close, sharing warmth like a shield against the cold desert night. In that bond, their collective strength becomes their greatest weapon. Soon after, the pups let out their first calls. Those faint sounds echo like a declaration that life continues in the unforgiving desert. Life here is always fragile. Just a single moment of neglect and death will strike at once. Yet it is that very fragility that makes every instant a burning flame, the flame that keeps the meerkats alive in the face of such harshness. The meerkat is not just a small creature of Africa. It is living proof that intelligence, courage, and teamwork can rise above the fangs of death, defying every limit set by nature. Oryx, the warrior of the Namib Desert. The winds of the Namib Desert howl like an invisible army, lifting blazing red grains of sand into the sky. In the midst of that blinding sandstorm, proud silhouettes emerge, their horns rising like swords piercing the burning sun. Oryx the gem spock, symbol of strength, pride, and the will to survive in the harshest extremes. Its horns stretch up to 1.20 meters, straight and sharp like the spears of ancient warriors. They are not only a symbol of beauty, but also weapons strong enough to pierce the flesh of enemies, even bringing down a full-grown lion. When the sunlight glimmers on the dunes, the two horns blend into one, forming a legendary vision. Many ancient tribes believed that the oryx was the origin of the unicorn legend, a creature of pride and mystery. When the dry season reaches its peak, not only water, but even the scarce patches of green grass become battlefields. The males step out from the herd, their bodies tense like drawn bows, horns lowered in readiness for the fight. The clash of horns echoes through the stillness. Each strike is a challenge. Blood spatters onto the red sand, yet neither steps back. The victor earns the right to lead the herd and guard the territory. The defeated must leave, wandering through the burning sea of sand, carrying the scars of failure and the weight of solitude. In the arid ecosystem of the Namib Desert, the oryx is a silent guide. Its footsteps open the way for other herbivores, leading them to rare patches of grass. The oryx keeps the cycle of life unbroken amid the endless sea of sand. By day, herds of oryx usually shelter beneath the sparse shade of thorny trees, conserving energy and avoiding the scorching heat. Only in the early morning and late afternoon do they move with strength, their eyes ever watchful for dangers lurking from afar. Beneath the dazzling sun, a herd of oryx grazes. In the distance, a lion hides in the dry grass, drawing closer step by silenced. A sudden eruption. The herd of oryx bolts away, hooves tearing through the golden sand as red dust rises in a choking cloud. The lions surge forward, the gap between predator and prey shrinking with every second. But the most merciless enemy of the oryx is not the lion, but the Namib Desert itself. The scorching daytime heat, the searing dry winds, and the endless lack of water push them to the very edge of survival. The frail calves often cannot withstand the harsh trials. Only a united herd, under the protection of the adults, has the chance to guide the new generation safely across the burning sea of sand. Each day of survival is a victory, and that victory is paid for with strength, intelligence, and survival instincts honed through thousands of years of evolution. Twilight stains the Namib sands red as the herd of oryx stands tall, their horns raised like spears guarding life. A majestic yet solitary image, like a warning sent to all humankind. The oryx is not just an antelope. It is the spirit of the desert, a symbol of resilience, teaching us lessons of adaptation and pride. To protect the oryx is to protect the fragile cycle of life in this harsh land, where survival and death are separated by nothing more than a single hot wind. In nature, no victory is ever permanent. Strength will eventually fade, but the mark of pride and the power of adaptation will remain, etched deep into the endless cycle of life. Bengal, the monarch of the Sundarbans forest. India is a land of magnificent nature, where thick forests merge with boundless grasslands. At the heart of this scene lies the Sundarbans, the world's largest mangrove forest, a deep green labyrinth that nurtures and protects hundreds of wild creatures. Within this unforgiving scene, the Bengal tiger stands as the soul of dominion. Its penetrating gaze and shadow-veiled form bring stillness to the Sundarbans each time it appears, resembling the quiet monarch of the mangrove forest. Beneath its regal striped fur, the tiger possesses webbed toes. This very feature renders it the consummate swimmer of the forest. Within the distinctive waters of the Sundarbans, its diet is equally varied, consisting of fish, crabs, and even juvenile crocodiles. Beyond its vivid orange coat, the Bengal tiger is also known to have rare white individuals, bearing an eerie beauty like phantoms of the forest. They are not a distinct species, nor albino, but a rare form of recessive genetic mutation. The Bengal tiger waits motionless for hours, patiently watching its prey until the one decisive moment to deliver a fatal strike. Though only 1 hunt in 10 is successful, it survives through sheer perseverance. Its roar travels 3 kilometers, forcing the whole forest to submit. Within the forest's hurried breath, a fleeting shape of a deer glides by. Burning eyes fix upon the innocent prey, oblivious to the death that approaches. Then the tiger springs out like lightning, ripping through the stillness with a savage leap. The prey, in panic, slips into the undergrowth. In the Sundarbans, the tiger is not always victorious, yet whenever it emerges, the whole forest holds its breath to witness. Defeat is but a faint scar upon the instinct for survival, and within the stillness, the predator emerges once more with an authority that cannot be denied. Half of all wild tigers on Earth carry the name Bengal. An adult may weigh on average over 200 kilograms. They are not merely emblems of power, but the very breath that decides the survival of the whole species. With surging muscles, shoulders and forelimbs as strong as steel, it possesses a fearsome strike and the strength to drag down prey far larger than itself. Broad paws and footsteps, silent as breath, turn it into an unseen predator within the forest. Furthermore, the Bengal tiger enjoys enhanced vision due to the tapetum lucidum membrane. Its small ears remain constantly vigilant, and its long whiskers, like living aerials, carry to it every tremor and the most delicate shift nearby. A fresh moment sparks within the heart of the forest. The tiger refuses to let it escape once more. It tightens instinct with resolve, directing all its power into one decisive blow to fell its prey, whatever the cost. Within the thick cover of the forest, the tiger lies flat against the earth, every muscle drawn tight. Before it, a deer moves slowly into the open. the white speckles on its back shining against the green foliage. Just a few strides separate them. The air stands still, the tiger's gaze fixed firmly on its prey, each breath drawn in suspense for the imminent eruption. The tiger springs forth like lightning, its savage strike the union of power, swiftness, and endurance. Only a few short seconds, but the outcome of hours of tireless stalking. An adult tiger may consume as much as 40 kilograms of meat in one sitting. When its hunger is satisfied, it withdraws silently to a shaded place close to the kill, remaining still for hours while it digests. Its ambushes are most often aimed at wild boar, deer, or antelope, the core of its diet. But instinct overlooks no opportunity, from monkey and juvenile crocodile to porcupine armed with quills. Each may serve as a banquet. Following the hunts, the tiger's life cycle moves on to reproduction. The tigress is pregnant for roughly 3.5 months and typically gives birth to 2 to 4 cubs, fragile creatures that endure thanks to their mother's devoted care. During the first 18 to 24 months of their lives, tiger cubs stay wholly attached to their mother, learning the art of stalking and the means of evading peril. The path to maturity is fraught with trials, and only half manage to survive into adulthood. Each tiger bears stripes that are entirely its own, an identity that cannot be confused. They are at once a refined camouflage and a quiet proclamation of territory. However varied, all are bound by nature's immutable law to claim life and to sustain the bloodline. Upon reaching maturity, every tiger claims dominion over a territory of its own. Survival instinct drives it to protect that ground at any cost, forbidding any other of its species from entering. Clashes take place in the strained stillness of the dense forest. They frequently conclude with savage wounds. At times, the cost is the very life of the weaker rival. The confrontations between rivals have scarcely faded when a new challenge emerges in the forest. Not a tiger, but a creature that appears sluggish and awkward, yet harbors a strength that even hunters are forced to fear. The sloth bear possesses a long, disheveled coat, an extended muzzle, and supple lips that enable it to draw in termites and white ants like a natural vacuum. This distinctive feeding behavior renders it an unusual presence within the forest. Its large frame, stretching close to 2 meters and weighing more than 140 kilograms, hides immense muscular power. The long curved claws, reaching 10 centimeters, are used not only for tearing into termite nests, but also as fearsome tools of defense. In contrast to its slow exterior, the sloth bear turns violently aggressive when in danger. It may rise upright, let out a thunderous roar, and strike with unexpected force. Its endurance and powerful resistance have rendered it a fearsome rival even to the tiger. In the open stretch of woodland, the tiger fixes its gaze on the mother bear, guiding her young. The atmosphere grows tense at once, each of its movements cautious and deliberate, heralding a clash between two rival powers. The bear rises tall with a resounding roar. The tiger rushes forward, then stops. Their gazes collide, intense but controlled, while the whole forest falls into silence to watch. The confrontation closes in strain. The mother bear succeeds in defending her young, yet she collapses under the tiger's teeth and claws. Within this ecosystem, every creature is drawn into the struggle for survival. They are forced to adapt with speed, cleverness, or the power of the group. A single misstep can be enough to transform the hunter into prey. Each stride of the Bengal tiger brings silence to the Sundarbans, a reminder that within this mangrove wilderness, it stands as the irreplaceable shadow of authority. The Bengal tiger was once called the man-eater, striking fear into fishermen and woodcutters. This was not due to a thirst for blood, but rather the restricted habitat and shortage of prey that compelled it to confront humans. Can humankind show the patience and responsibility to preserve that presence within the Sundarbans? For when the Bengal tiger, already a species under threat, is gone, it is not merely the loss of a proud animal, but the everlasting silence of an entire ecosystem. Jaguar, the soul of the Amazon rainforest. Dawn lights up the Amazon, with sparkling dewdrops falling on the leaves. The mighty river roars as the forest murmurs like a hidden battlefield. In this setting, the jaguar rises, the embodiment of strength and the very terror of the green jungle. It moves without a sound, as if the jungle itself has learned to fall silent in respect of its presence. Each step is an invisible declaration. Wherever it passes, that place belongs to it. It does not race with speed like the cheetah, nor does it rely on companions like the lion. The jaguar is a solitary being. In the dense forest shadows, solitude becomes its armor, turning it into an invisible phantom. Muscles coil tightly beneath the dark rosetted coat. Broad shoulders stand like steel hinges. Amber eyes pierce through the damp veil. Every fiber tells the same story, power reserved for a single decisive strike. Its bite is the nightmare of the jungle, a force that crushes turtle shells and pierces the skulls of caimans. It needs no long pursuit. All it requires is to close in, lock the neck, and switch off its prey in a single beat. The Amazon forest is a labyrinth of scents. The jaguar reads this maze with its whiskers and tongue. It marks its territory with samaro scent, clawing tree trunks to send a message. Silent, yet never ambiguous. Water is its ally. Unlike most of its feline kin, the jaguar loves the silt-laden rivers. It swims half-submerged, ears level with the surface, eyes sharp as arrows. The prey hears nothing, only surrendering to fate. Each individual is a painting of its own. The rosette patterns on its coat are as unique as fingerprints. That is why the rainforest does not nurture just one species. The rainforest nurtures thousands of beings that can never be alike. The jaguar does not roar like the lion. Its voice is low and hoarse, in short bursts, like a blade scraping damp wood. That sound is a gentle warning. Those who understand it will not risk another step. Its territory is drawn by rivers, by ancient tree roots, by scent upon wet stone. It patrols like a king without a throne. At times it pauses, lifting its head to breathe deeply. No disturbance escapes its notice. Night descends upon the Amazon, heavy like a vast curtain covering the ancient forest. Within nature's symphony, the resonance of insects weaves an unseen drumbeat, driving the rhythm of survival for every creature. The jaguar glides silently along the banks of the Amazon. Its glowing eyes pierce the still surface of the water. Suddenly, it plunges like a living spear, a precise strike ending the unlucky fish in an instant. Dawn breaks over the Amazon, the first sunlight gilding the river's rippling surface. Traces of the night's hunt still remain, and amid the radiant renewal, the jaguar continues its endless journey of survival. The jaguar is a master hunter, yet it too knows fear. When confronted with a massive buffalo, it does not hesitate to retreat, scrambling up a tree in search of safety. At times, two jaguars cross paths on the trail, shoulders raised, tails lashing in rhythm, a dry hiss like stone scraping. Most encounters end with an orderly retreat, but once they clash, the rainforest will be stained with another color. And then the heavy rain pours down. Thunder splits the sky, and the wind thrashes through the canopy, forcing even the Lord of the Rainforest to retreat quietly into hiding. The rainforest needs controllers like it. The jaguar keeps prey populations from exploding. It removes the sick and the slow. Balance is sometimes written with claws. Sunset falls, and the Amazon exhales after the eruption of life and death. The ruler does not prove its strength with words, but with silence, cold resolve, and decisiveness in every hunt. The jaguar is the soul of the rainforest. It is nature's answer to the art of perfect assassination. No noise, no display, just one precise strike and the forest returns to silence. To protect the forest is to protect those footprints. To protect the river is to protect those amber eyes. As long as the spotted shadow moves among the leaves, the soul of the Amazon will keep breathing steadily.